Good morning, seniors. How are you today? Are you guys ready for some magic? Yes. Can you hear me all right? Let me know. Today, we are looking at an explosive growth in the charts. And the question is, why is it so? How come? And before we go into DBXen, I want you guys to understand the context of the DBXen. DBXen has further proven something we have claimed in theory and also practice for many months now. And it's the fact that Zen is peer-to-peer cash. And with that cash, you have the option to convert your economic energy to something more scarce. So Zen is the cash for an alternative system, if you like, that follows first principles better than anything else we have ever seen before. And Zen is immutable in nature, which makes it unstoppable and uncorruptible. And Zen's multi-chain deployment make it censorship resistant. And the token distribution model that Zen has makes it the fairest ever known to both man and degen. You can't fight the cryptogravity laws with Zen, the laws of first principles. So that also makes it true that Zen is not bound with the uncertainties of other protocols. And day by day, we're seeing the inevitable adoption of Zen because the demand is there for freedom to transact and convert economic energy trustlessly. But for cash to be useful, it needs utility and lots of it. And it also happens to be that the world needs what the world needs is first principles protocols. First principles DeFi, we call it ZenFi, and they need it badly and they need lots of it. And I, as a user, as a participant in the financial system, I want an abundance of different options to reshape my economic energy in time based on my circumstance, and in doing so, be in full control of my economic energy through self-custody. So let's look at this instead. This is the DBXen chart that's just launched on Ethereum 10 days ago. And DBXen is one of the bridges between this discrepancy between what Zen can do, what it needs, and what we need and what we want to do, which is a full ecosystem of first and foremost first principles protocols. And DBXen is not to be underestimated. The DBXen team has, in a very short time, proved to us all that they're not only very capable of understanding Zen, but also their execution has been phenomenal. The team is fantastic. They're educated, they're experienced, they're very capable. They're in it for the right reasons. They're exemplary seniors. They're anarchists and doers in the permissionless anarchistic duocracy, which is the spirit of Zen. They're hungry and they are ready to deliver, and they have. In just about 10 days, they've built a platform in which Xenians have burned in the last 10 days over 400 billion Zen on Ethereum. And that is 4% of the current supply. It's truly remarkable. And they also deployed DBXen on 10 different chains in no time. And this also made many other Xenians very excited. And they've managed to build a sub-community within the community. They sparked a lot of engagement and activity. They've been very responsive. They've been educating. And they presented their case in an exemplary way, which is also why I think other builders should really study DBXen and see how it's really done. I think it's very hard to imagine a better rollout of a fair distribution protocol built by using another fair distribution protocol. DBXen, it's really like fair squared. And what DBXen does, it proves that our model works. With Zen, you have the creation of value based on first principles, based on individual choice. You have the peer-to-peer cash, fair crypto, that is then being used as oil for another fair participation project, DBXen. And in the participation, you burn Zen, and that gives Zen utility, and that increases the value of Zen. And we're seeing it now in the charts. As a user, you can then convert your economic energy to something very inflationary to something more scarce, a limited supply token with a sharper increase of difficulty to mint, if you like, which is also fair distributed, completely based on first principles. And this is the yin-yang effect that we talked about so many times. And DBXen is really the first community application to really prove the point of that in such a large scale. So it's incredibly exciting. And DBXen is just one vertical next to NFTs for now, and many more in the works. But it's amazing to see that it works to build with the Lego that we have talked about so many times. Before we go into DBXen, I want you guys to also take notice of none of this is any financial advice of any kind. We're not going to convince you that DBXen is a good investment, because in order for you to make that judgment if something is a good investment or not, which ultimately is up to you, because you always have the big boy pants on, you need to understand what these protocols are and how they work fully. And this is our intention today, to explain to you how DBXen works. So you then can take the educated decision if this is something for you to participate in or potentially invest in or not. And before we degen into auctions and numbers and burns, etc., I want us to take a step back and reflect what DBXen is and where it's coming from. And because there's an abundance of aspects to cover with DBXen and how it relates to Zen and so on and so forth. But in order to do that, we first must understand DBXen in itself. And what better way to do that than to have the founder here himself. I present to you straight from Transylvania, Răzvan. Hello, good morning.
Hi guys, hi Sunsu, thank you for the invitation. I'm so glad to be here finally.
Finally,
we tried to do this for a couple of weeks now, but it's the first time we actually managed to get a bit of time to actually discuss this.
Right, we've been very busy. You've been obviously very busy as well. A lot has happened with DBXen, and you guys have been absolutely on fire. We see some celebrities in the chat. We have Steve, we have Baho, we have Joseph, we have all the celebrities. But tell us first of all, are you really in Transylvania right now? And is this where you are from?
Yes, I'm in Transylvania, actually in the biggest city in Transylvania, called Cluj. Cluj. Yes, some of the people call it Clutch because they are trying to read it in English. It's Cluj, and it's a very, very nice city to be in. Very vibrant in terms of technology.
Some people say that DBXen vampire attacked Zen.
I love this story. So there are so many coincidences in this whole ecosystem. I didn't know that, for example, Jack was called vampire until we started looking into what he's doing. And so he's a vampire, but we are actually living in the capital of the vampires.
You are real. You are actually real vampires. That's so funny.
Yeah.
But tell me,
Răzvan, him home whenever he wants. He can come and visit his origin.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we should come visit you guys. We want to see how it goes. Maybe for the moon parties, we can make a stream from straight in the heart of the vampire Transylvania. Tell me, Răzvan, how has this? Before we go into the ingenuity of and explaining DBXen, how has the last couple of weeks and months been for you?
I think that this last period was the most exciting in my entire career. We have so much fun at work. I run a innovation lab, a technical innovation lab, and we like to jump into this difficult philosophical project. And DBXen was one of them, and it's incredible. It's big shout out for the community and the way they received our product, and we learned so much. I need to be very egoist to say that actually we entered to learn a lot, and we've learned a lot.
You've learned a lot, and you've also given a lot. It's been a great symbiosis where you have built an amazing protocol which inspired a lot of Zenians to participate, and we can see it in the results. The amazing part, I mean, it's just been mind-blowing, the participation in DBXen. It shocked us truly. What was the expectations from deploying on all these different chains and then leading up to the deployment on Ethereum?
Yeah, I would like to say that I knew from the very first moment I've put my pen on a piece of paper that this will be a big success, but I would lie.
Right.
I really want to thank all of my team for doing a great job. The level of energy that I was feeling inside our office was sky high, just like Zen value now. So we had a lot of fun. A lot of work. It was very difficult, and the level of stress to create immutable code and test it correctly and make sure that, okay, once you deploy it, you know that people will start using it, and the risk of losing money is enormous. So it's a bit, it was hard to digest all this, but I'm very, very thankful for the team because they did a great job.
We've seen some screenshots or some photos from your office, and at the launch of Ethereum, you had balloons all over the office. It was very fun to see. It seems like a great. Everyone I've talked to have been super nice. They've been very educated. They've been very fast to respond, and so on. It seems like you have an amazing team there in Transylvania, an amazing team of vampires.
I'll be subjective, but I think I have the best team.
Awesome. So let's dive right into DBXen. What do you say? We want to give everyone a pure understanding of what DBXen is and how it works. Because right now we're only seeing that the charts are going ballistic. They're going completely nuts. But we want people to really understand why is it so. So I've been studying the DBXen protocol quite a lot, and also participated in the auctions, which has been a lot of fun. We can talk about that later. And you've made the research I've done, I've taken from your Git book, which I have to also give you a lot of credit for. I think it was very nice and very structured, and I think people should go here and watch it, because this is a very, very good way in order to present the protocol. So go there, guys. But what we will do today, similar to what we did with Nex, is to apply some sort of framework in order to understand DBXen. And we want to scrape off everything that's not important and just go to the roots of what is DBXen and what problem is it trying to solve. And also answer what's the desired behavior to get the max of the token. We want to hear more about you, Răzvan, and your team, and what else you've been doing, and what's your experience, and how you look at things moving forward. We want to talk how DBXen relates to first principles, as always. We want to talk about the innovation Lego that led to the creation of DBXen. And then, of course, tokenomics and schematics, which always is the fun part. There's a lot to talk about DBXen there. Some simplification leading, diverging into the user experience of things, the deployment, which is of course very interesting with DBXen, and then talk about community. And then we have some stats. And you also promised to do a little tutorial for us somewhere along this line. So we're very excited for that. So if you have no idea what DBXen is, I think we hope that this will be the best introduction for you to understand it. But let's start with just the foundation and really try to ask what is DBXen? And I guess like what you can say is like, what's the best one sentence mission statement of DBXen? You can burn Zen for trustless yield in your native gas token on the chain wherever you're in with the DBXen protocol. Or how would you describe it in one sentence?
Well, I would refer to the mission of the project. So DBXen was meant to help Zen become a bit more deflationary, and it did a great job for this. And the rest is tokenomics and algorithms and game theory and so on. But in principle, this was the mission, to help Zen become deflationary, which it did. And how you make an inflationary token become deflationary by burning it.
Right. So it's an ERC20 token. It has a cap supply of 5,010,000. We'll talk about later why this seemingly arbitrary number is there. There's no inflation. It's capped. The distribution of the supply is deflationary in its distribution. It's not the deflationary per se, it's capped, but there's a distribution through daily burn auctions for 62 years. So these numbers are very interesting. We're going to degen into them. And important to say also that there was no pre-mine. The supply started at 0 and the price also started at 0. And is it fair to say that in order to get a max of DBXen, you need to burn as much Zen as possible to get as much DBXen as possible, and stake for as long as possible to earn the most protocol fees?
Absolutely, if you do this daily.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of game theory, and I think we're going to enter it later on because it's this kind of protocol which, in order to participate, it's very simple. It's super simple. But in order to participate efficiently, there's infinite amount of game theory to be degening into, right?
Yeah, well, I told you that you realize that the game theory is very, very good once you start the game and you, as a founder, realize that you are not playing the game correctly. So I told you that my feeling is that I am kind of an England with soccer, you know. It's okay, great game. I still need to learn to play it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like I participated myself in the auction, and I realized how I definitely choose the wrong strategy in order to participate, because I thought that I was going to wait a little bit for the hype to die down, but it never did. It just escalated. It just shows to like, even if you're a founder of a protocol, it tells something about the fairness of distribution. Like yourself, you couldn't even get a good deal, so to speak. You had to participate like everyone else.
Absolutely. And I had to create my own strategy. And like you, my own strategy was not the best one. But I am very happy because somewhere in the light paper, I've put the fact that basically DBXen will be a community good. And this is what happened actually. So the community is actually the one that dictates how the gameplay should be, So I cannot influence, you cannot influence. We can do our own strategies. We can be good at the game or not so good,
Right.
But the mission was fully accomplished.
Right. So I even told Jack, like, this works. It works too good because you can't get in. It's the difficulty of getting in is very hard. So the founders team passion for fair launches, fair distribution, equitable tokenomics, and community governed protocols was the inspiration behind building DBXen. And the goal is to offer an alternative to NFTs and other burning tokens, like the Reflection token, Phoenix, etc., etc. A different reward system that will yield a passive income for DXen holders. So you can, like, to understand, in my opinion, to understand DBXen, you can see of it as sort of, it's like a bond in a way. You can also describe it as like the DB-Zen relationship. It's sort of like an AMM, an automated market maker that pays yield to Zen burners while issuing DB-Zen. That's another way to look at it. I've also heard comparisons to other protocols where participation it's like sacrifice for freedom of community distribution. if you know the relation, you know the relation.
Unfortunately, I am not part of that community. I've heard a lot about that community. I will for sure dive in. But just to give you a bit of knowledge why we say that it's our team's passion, we were doing this before Zen appeared. So basically, we were trying to create the most secured communication system in the world, building first the protocol, it's an alternative to SMTP. And while working on that project, basically we came up with the same tokenomics. I will explain it. It's a bit different, but let's say that 90% is kind of the same. So we were playing with concepts like fair launches, and then we've discovered Xen and Jack and the idea of first crypto principles, and we said, how can this be that two people or two teams that do not know each other, that they did not discuss ever in their life, one in one part of the world, the other on the other side of the world, actually create something that is very, very similar in terms of token distribution. And this is why we jumped into Xen. We started minting. We said, okay, we will support this community. The community grew much larger than we managed to do on our other project, because we were not that good at marketing and communication and so on. We are still not. We are learning a lot on this side. But it was like the universe tried to put us together. So this was the feeling. I said, okay, let's jump into it and try to see where we can help this community.
Yeah, I think it's like there's the way we build Zen. It's not built on any kind of hype. It's just like fundamentals and it's principles, and it's something that speaks to. I think the success of Zen has been because of the fact that it goes back to fundamentals and these principles, which are just common sense, really. So what like what we managed to do is just put these principles on a paper that many could resonate with, and that I think is something that's creating this platform where many other teams like yours can apply to and build to, because we share these values and principles together. But very interesting. So if we talk about what problem does DBXen really solve?
Yeah. So exactly what I already mentioned. So as I wrote down, came to life as a natural reaction to the increased adoption of XEN that also brought with it the inflation.
Right.
And we were, I think we entered into XEN 18 days after it was launched. And we started following the news, and we saw the roadmap, and we said it's incredible that some of the roadmap is already, let's say 50-60% developed by us in other projects. And I said, let's just help. It doesn't matter who starts such a community, because the community is trustless and is founderless. I love
Right.
Jack. It's not about Jack or me, but the community without Jack or without me, it can still thrive. And basically, when we saw the roadmap and we looked at what assets we already had in terms of code and developments and so on, we said, okay, we can help this community in with the deflation, and this is DBXen. And there will be a couple of other utilities that we are planning to release quite soon. I don't want to overpromise, but from the roadmap that Jack presented, I think that we can help in a couple of other smaller projects. And I believe that all the other developers out there, so big shout out to Joseph, for example, who created XenPub, and it is crypto like it is supposed to be. This is how a community is supposed to be.
Exactly. Crypto like it's supposed to be. I like that. But in the main point is if you have Zen, and if you have something that's currently very inflationary, even though it's disinflationary, you can convert that into something that's way more scarce. And this is like the first problem that DBXen is trying to solve, and with the yin yang effect that we are trying to make, there's to have that option into that conversion is something that I think many people have picked up on. So I think it, like, fundamentally it doesn't have to be more complex than that. I think DBXen is really doing that work very well.
Yeah, fully agree with that.
Yeah.
Just one other mention, because a lot of people ask me why DBXen, why the naming, and
Right.
The inspiration for the DBXen was Dbox. Dbox is a decentralized inbox, actually. The project that we are creating that has the utility of allowing users to send the most secure decentralized emails in the world. So this was the vision of the project. And in Dbox, the distribution of DBX coins are kind of the same, but it's much more affordable, because there we thought that, okay, to send an email, it should not cost more than a couple of cents. And this is why basically the only thing that we've modified in terms of distribution was the calculation of the protocol fee. And because Dbox was our inspiration, I felt that it's actually fair to call this DBXen from Dbox.
And so what was we speculated a little bit about what it was in the beginning, because it doesn't make obvious sense, right? So something we talked about was that it could be daily burn Zen, which is referring to the participation process where you need to burn Zen in order to participate. But it arrived from a previous project that you had, that you sort of merged into what the DBXen became.
Exactly. I read today a tweet. It was very nice. DBXen from "Don't Buy Xen, Mint It." There are many speculations, but actually, I think that the response is not so I don't know, visionary. But it was like our feeling that DBXen came alive because Dbox actually was created before it.
Right. Interesting. So Răzvan, tell us a little bit about who are you, and where how did you come into crypto in the first place, and leading into who are the people behind DBXen, and also what are your thoughts on this community?
Okay, I will try to be as short as possible. I don't really like to talk about me that much, but just to who am I? I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a researcher, and I'm an engineer. And I like to look at research as having an end result. So I started my career as a lecturer after I've obtained the PhD diploma in cybernetics and statistics. And I've been in the academia for a couple of years, and I loved it, but somehow it felt that all this research ends up in a piece of paper, which is a nice theory, but no end result. So I quit being a lecturer, and I've started from scratch as a junior developer, and ended up in a CTO position in, I think, 7 or 8 years, where I was responsible for around 260 developers in my delivery center. And again, I felt that I need to start from scratch, because being a CTO in an outsourcing company, it felt like I I am the one that brings to production the vision of others, and it's good, it's okay. So you need this kind of people, but not if you don't really agree with the vision of others. So I restarted again 5 years ago as an entrepreneur, and I said I have a dream of creating a research and development lab that is capable to bring products like DBXen or DBox or XEN or other such projects to life. And yeah, basically this is me. How did I enter into crypto? I have founded actually 4, 5, 6 companies. Sorry, had to count them. And in one of them, I am the co-founder, and my friend Alex, who's the co-founding partner, he was into crypto from 2016, if I recall correctly. And he tried to push me in, look at this, look at this, look at this. I said, oh, we have so many projects, and I deal with AI and I deal with engineering and so on. I don't have the nerves to do this. And somehow he managed to convince me to create a department of smart contract writers. And basically that forced me to learn more and more about crypto. So this was, I think, 3 years ago, approximately 3 years ago. And what I found out in crypto was incredible. So a lot of my own philosophy was already inside a concept. Community and shared responsibility, and no need for centralized governance and so on. And I said, okay, and in time, so in 3 years, basically all my other ventures actually transformed into ventures that have something to do with crypto, with blockchain, and so on and so forth. So it was an incredible journey.
Awesome, and you've done a lot of other stuff within crypto as well. You have other projects that you are also building within crypto. I heard something about that you're doing work for Animoca.
Yes. So basically, when we started the smart contract developer department, well, we didn't have a very clear image of a product that is innovative enough and brings enough value, and we were not confident enough that we should actually invest in our own idea before we learn more about what's happening in terms of innovation in this landscape. So basically we actually Alex won a hackathon in Hong Kong that was organized by Hedera Hashgraph, and this is how we were spotted by Animoca. And when we created this department, Animoca came to us to help them to create some NFTs, to help them to brainstorm about tokenomics and so on. And we've partnered. So yes, we actually are now working with Animoca on a couple of actually many projects, helping them not just in terms of blockchain, but also game development, backend development, front-end development, and so on. And this is the part of our ventures that deal with servicing others.
Right. So you're doing a lot of background work for other protocols as well, you can say.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. And this is how we found ourselves. So we have a bit of space and fuel to actually create also this type of things where it pays off if you are a good player. So we still need to be to learn to be good players.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about. I mean, there's so much more I want to hear about you, but we have so much to cover. But I hope this can be an introduction. I think the community is hungry to know who's the guys, who's the core team behind, who's the masterminds behind DBXen. But let's merge into a little bit with first principles, because I think it's always important to have an awareness when we're designing, building, and participating in protocols, how it relates to the first principles. And when I cross-check DBXen in my shortlist of principles and how it relates to system building in general, it's not only in relation to protocols, but obviously it's a protocol which allows you to have self-custody. It's immutable code, it's permissionless, it's very decentralized, it's transparent, 100% trustless, etc. Censorship resistant. The inflation schedule makes a lot of sense. The launch is fair, and it's very simple. Tell me a little bit about this. Is taking from your documentation. Tell me a little bit about what first principles mean to you, and why you think it matters, and why you chose to also build the DBXen based on first principles, because it's a protocol that lives up to the first principles to 100%.
It was quite funny to see you navigating through the list. We kind of did the same thing with XEN when we decided to jump into the community, and we put less points here. So we said, okay, let's look at the white paper of Satoshi. So at the end of the day, it should be about fairness. So there should be no pre-mines, there should be no treasury allocations, and so on and so forth, in terms of distributing a token. Now, if you create some kind of real utility, let's say, I don't know, flash loans. Okay, for flash loans, it's absolutely normal to ask for, I don't know, a fee for allowing users to use the functionality, but it has nothing to do with distributing a token. The token needs to be distributed, and that's it. And how the token needs to be distributed is without control, without manipulating the prices, without I don't know, bringing a lot of VCs that allows you to go to centralized exchanges. That even the concept of market of market making, for me, it was like, okay, no, it's a big no, not in terms of crypto distribution. So this was our idea at that moment. We saw XEN and we did the same thing like you did. So we went, okay, it's permissionless, it's no pre-mines, no treasury allocations, no private and public sales, and no protocol developers fee. Okay, these are our guys, and we are their guys.
Yeah, I think it's becoming apparent more and more that these principles do make sense, and the trustless nature of them, in the fact that not only if you just look at the code, but also in terms of community, but also like building together as builders. Because when everything is transparent and you know all the rules, and it's all out there, it's all open, there's no unnecessary uncertainties, which allows a team for you to see, okay, hey, who are these Zen guys? The white paper makes sense, the code makes sense, this is something we can work in. It gives you a lot of trust in order to spend your time and resources and energy in building something and putting your name on it, that you know is like, okay, whatever Jack is doing, whatever he's going to do, we can still trust the Zen protocol, because we know for a fact that these things are immutable and they cannot change. How do you think that impacted you when you built the removal of trust in people, in persons, in order to build something?
It's well, I would like to refer exactly what you've mentioned something. So we liked Jack, but we trusted his code and the community and the ecosystem. So we know that if we enter and we build something that is as fair as Zen, then people do not need to trust us. And we had a couple of philosophical discussions, and this was actually a hard part of the development phase, because we had kind of the same food for thought. Okay, we are creating this system now. People might lose money with it. It might be that we will be responsible to bring the next utility, because we now create a new token. What will be the next utility, and so on. And I think it was a dream at some point when I realized that, okay, Jack is not responsible for Zen anymore. So he put his principles into a light paper, and then he coded that, and people came and embraced that. We were part of those people. Okay, and because we have different competences as a community, we were lucky to have the development competencies, so we created the next utility for Zen. And I'm quite sure that it's not our responsibility to come with, or Jack's responsibility to come with more and more and more utility. It will come from Joseph, it will come from Steven, it will come from other smart guys out there. So it's like a snowball effect, you know. And this is crypto. This is how crypto should be, in my opinion.
It's how crypto should be. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, people are ultimately amazing and we want to interact with them, but if we can remove uncertainties from the protocol, it makes everything much more scalable. But if you then can add people and trust on top, like I think a lot of people really have seen DBXen now, but you coming here and putting your face on it helps a lot with credibility, to see that it's made in a sense that it's some legitimate person behind it that stands for what they built. I think that's built, but that trust can be put on top of something.
And that's absolutely fine. And my own reason for being here and to get discovered is that I really hope that I will meet new people and we will brainstorm. And DBXen is just, like you said, one vertical. It might be that many other ideas will come, and they don't need, the community should not expect me or Jack or you or Joseph to come with a new idea. They should think for themselves. They should come with ideas. We can brainstorm, we can become friends and so on, and we will drive this together. And then our kids and our grandchild and so on, they will have to deal with what's next and next and next.
Right, like I thought about what Zen means to me now, and I came up with this expression. It's like a permissionless anarchistic duocracy, in the sense that the one who does decides. It's permissionless, so anyone can do it, which you demonstrated. You didn't ask us for permission. You saw what Zen was. You built something kick-ass with it, and then you went for it. and in that sense that you can just build something, and if it has value, it will get users and it will get participations, as we have seen now with DBXen, which has been truly remarkable. Let's go into the juices of how DBXen works, and talk a little bit about, we're merging the tokenomics and schematics here, but just roughly, and we want people who have no idea what DBXen is to understand this. So we wanna break it down as simple as possible without confusion. It looks pretty confusing if you look at it the first time, but it's actually very simple. I mean, it really is. There's different parts of it. So there's a distribution part of the supply, which follows immutable rules. There's a participation input in order to participate in the auction, and there's difficulty built in there, right? Like, in order to participate, you have to pay protocol fee, and then the token is distributed through daily auctions, and then the fees are then reflected to stakers to give yield to stakers, basically. That was sort of just a rough. How would you pitch this schematic?
Okay, so I would start with the distribution. First of all, this is the most important, in my opinion, to be understood. So basically, we had only one fixed value in our head. The fact that we want in the first day 10,000 DXen to be distributed.
Right, because it's very, like, when I first saw this, I'm like thinking, okay, why 5,010,000? Like, that's very arbitrary. Why 62 years? What the hell? What do they thinking? And then you have 10,000. But sorry.
Yeah. So this was the only fixed value that I had that we had in mind. And the second was that we want to mimic like a yearly halvening. So if you look at Bitcoin, there's I think a halvening every 4 years. We wanted to mimic a yearly halvening, and because we had a game theory that would mint some DXen every day, I wanted that every day the supply to decrease by a percentage that will mimic the yearly halvening. And this is how we came up with 0.2% decrease every day. And then when we did the maths, basically, if we look at solidity, we could only half and half for 62 years. After 62 years, from a technical perspective, you cannot do the div anymore. And this is how we came up with the 62 years. And then we calculated, okay, what is the total amount of DXen that will be distributed in 62 years based on these rules? And it was approximately 5,010,000. And I said, okay, so this looked like great numbers. So 10,000, approximately 5 million, and 62 years of distribution.
That's very interesting. So you sort of started with the fact that you wanted 10,000 as a daily supply. That's then decreasing by 0.2%, of course. But why did you feel that 10,000 was a great number?
It was an assumption game. So basically, I thought that, look, if we are really, really lucky, we will have, let's say, 100 people joining into the first day auction. And if they get around 100 in average, that seems like legit. If we go with 1 million and they will get, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands, it's not scarce enough. So this was the idea. Now, if I look now how the game is actually playing, probably we could have put a bit of more DX in the first cycle.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but it sort of like doesn't matter. Like it's an arbitrary number. The only thing that matters is the relation, right? So the fact that it is a cap supply, the fact that there's a portion distributed every day with some kind of decline, with decline, which increases difficulty. It incentivizes earlier participation. I cannot wait because there's according to this schedule, half of the supply will be minted after 1 year.
Yes.
And after 2 years, it's 75%, correct?
Yes.
Right. So after 2 years, 75% of the supply. So it's just like Bitcoin in that sense that it's the Bitcoin halvening, as you say. It's an inbuilt mining difficulty.
Yes, exactly.
Very, very interesting. And then in order to participate, a Xenian comes in, and this is the example. You deployed it on Matic first, so that's why it's Matic.
Yes.
But it's actually Zen token for, let's say we are on Polygon, then it's MZen that you need to hold in your wallet, and also the native gas token on Polygon, which is Matic. And then you participate through choosing how much of that Zen you need to burn. And you also need to pay the protocol fee.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about this process.
Okay, so here the game theory is as follows. So you cannot burn less than 2.5 million Zen, and only multiples of 2.5. And the idea was that if you burn more than 1, you should be incentivized somehow, so you should pay less protocol fee. What happens is that once you burn the XEN, that disappears forever from the market, and the native coin is accrued at the contract level. The native coin will be distributed at the end of the cycle to the stakers of DBXen. How this works is that, or what the user should think about when they burn. Okay, how much Xen do I have? How many multiples of 2.5 million Xen can I afford to burn in one click? And to be aware that every batch has a discount of 0.40% in terms of the protocol fee. What this means is that if you do the max batch, that means that in average you pay 50% protocol fee for every batch that you've burned.
Right. So you're incentivizing behavior where it's if you like we talked about with the desired behavior, in order to get as much as possible, you burn as much as possible. So it's actually very simply calculated. I want people to understand this, even if you're not good at math. It follows a very simple formula, right? The protocol fee that you pay is the gas you spent. So Zen, this is interesting because Zen is very closely related to gas, and here's another level of gas dependency, which is, okay, we're going to go into the dynamics of that, but let's keep it simple. So the gas you spent times if you forget about this for a moment, the number of batches, which makes sense, right? If you pay some gas for the number of batches, but then there's a discount here, right? So notice that it's 1 minus some kind of a factor of a fixed variable times the number of batches, which means since it's negative here, you are getting a bigger discount by the increase of number of batches, right? So it's a very simple way how to make incentivize people to get this sort of discount by the more batches they burn.
Yeah, and they compete for the pool of DXen that is rewarded in a certain day. So first day it was 10,000. Let's say I burn 1 batch, you burn 1 batch, we get 5,000. If Jack comes and he burns 4 batches, that means that he will get 4 times more than we get. So we can do the maths later. 10,000 divided by 6. And then basically the accrued native coin in the contract will be splitted for the stakers, which are the 3 of us in the first day, because what you've burned, it's already considered staked. And then we can decide the next day what we do. Should we burn again? Should we wait for others to burn and get some? But we will get diluted every day. It's if you don't burn every day, we get diluted.
Right. So exactly. So this is the of this supply. You get the first day there was 10,000. If I'm the only Senian, then I could just burn one batch of 2,500 and I would get the whole 10,000. But this is where the excitement comes in, because this is fair distribution of participation in an auction style. So I did it once on one chain. I burned just one just to test it out, and I felt like a millionaire because I was going to get the whole batch. But then some other goddamn Senians came in and also like diluted my daily cycle, and it of course happened very fast because I only participated with one batch, but it's very exciting, and there's a lot of psychology that comes in here, like how should you participate. It's a cycle of 24 hours. There's other participants. It's closely related to GUI. I did actually did some, like, just to explain the relationship between protocol fee and participation, right? Because if it's low with in relation to this protocol fee, because as we talked about, the fee you pay here is very it's directly in proportion to the gas you spent for the protocol fee. So that means that if there's low GUI, there's less of a protocol fee, but of course others think the same, so the participation will be higher as well. But if there's high GUI, there's more of a protocol fee you pay, but there's less participation. So to see this sort of relationship in terms of, if we have GUI on this scale, this is a very simplified model, but I think many people need to understand this relationship with the GUI. If the GUI is low, the protocol fee will be low as well. It's this blue line. But the participation will be higher as well. If the GUI is high, then the protocol fee will obviously be high, but the participation will be low. So it's something to think about in this game mechanics, right? Like, what are you willing to, at what level are you willing to participate, and how does that relate to everything else? Because this also relates to cycle period, number of batches, and also huge amounts of psychology, tactics, and strategy. So it's very simple to participate, but then, as we talked about, how you optimize it is really where your DGen mind needs to come into play.
Yeah, and I would add also a couple of other dimensions of complexity. So, for example, it depends why are you actually playing this, participating to this auction, because what we are seeing currently, the fact that people are burning creates the demand on XEN. So XEN pumps in value. And also because I don't know, the blockchain is very used, vague pumps in value. So this means that on the other side, I can get very, very nice native coin rewards. So where do I look? Do I look at the value of XEN? Do I look at the value of DBXen? Do I look at the value of GUI? So you need a lot of. I don't think there is a perfect strategy. It's a matter of gut feeling, and this makes it very, very, very fair.
And you can also, like, as always, you can sort of DCA in. You can dollar cost average. You can participate with, you know that you have a fixed amount that you want to allocate for DBXen. The GUI varies. It's one thing now. It can go up and it can go down. It's related to participation. So if you take an allocation a little bit every day, you sort of get an average deal anyway, right?
if you look at the analytics, I think there are players that use different tactics. So, for example, some of them are looking for low GWAY. Some of them actually are looking for high GWAY because they are betting that no many people will actually jump into participation that day. So it's incredible. It's
And as we say many times, this is a DGen play. It's easy to participate if you want to, but it's you don't have to. Like only if you like what DBXen brings, you should participate in it. And ultimately, everything we're doing is increasing the value of Zen underneath, as we've seen, as we see now clearly. I think DBXen clearly demonstrates how its presence in this community is increasing the value of Zen. Thus, every minter has gained from the DBXen presence. Yeah, and so the distribution, as we talked about, it follows a very simple formula. Basically, that your cycle reward is the total amount of rewards that are distributed times the total number of batches that a user has burned, divided by the total number of batches that's been burned by all users this cycle. So it's very fair distribution based. Like the more you burn, the more you get, and then whatever protocol fee you pay at that moment depends on what the GWAY is at that moment. But you can sort of like try to, like you should have an eye on the GWAY, because if there's like an NFT airdrop going on at the same time, it might make sense to wait a little bit until the GWAY goes down before you participate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One more thing. So in one cycle, anyone can choose to burn as many times as needed. So we did not block that you can only burn once. So you can burn with the same address how many times you want.
I think you disappeared there for a moment, for me at least. But yeah, you said that you can top up your sort of auction bid from the same address.
Yes.
It does by automation, right? And then the fees that you pay here as Athenians, they go to your pocket in the office, or they go to balloons, or what happens with the fees?
That would have been a great idea. So 100% stays into the contract, and they are distributed to the stakers. So we did not, no development fees, no fees at all. So we should forget about that.
Right. So all the fees that come in gets distributed to all the stakers exactly. of the protocol. And we've seen, like, obviously in the beginning, as with everything, early participation is rewarded. The fees that are yielded, they are quite heavy initially to the people who have staked. But there's no promises of yield that you have made. There's no claims of yield or APY or anything. And I think this is an important point to this is an experiment. Zen is the most insane sandbox for experimentation. I think we all can agree. And this is something that will have to be shown with time and participation. If the yield makes sense, the distribution is fair, and the participation is fair, and it's sort of like Bitcoin. It doesn't have a built-in reflective yield in that aspect. This does, but it does have a difficulty that's increasing of mining. But all of the so with time, there's more and more stakers. Of course, and then there's the yield gets then distributed to all of these stakers, and the yield. So what's interesting with this model is that if you guys remember from Nex, where you had participation and then 3 other reflective yield streams, what the DBXen team did was they introduced this protocol. They removed all of that and they introduced this protocol fees here instead. Which is very brilliant, I really think, in the sense that you as a user get paid in the native gas token in whatever chain you're participating in. What was your thoughts when you thought about implementing this aspect?
I want to. The idea at that moment was to have like a full cycle. So if you look at Zen, you use Matic. Let's use the Polygon example. You use Matic to mint, and most of what happened is that most of the people, once they get the Zen, they went and sold it for Matic. So okay,
Right.
if we add this new dimension where people can actually get their Matic back, because there are some that actually look for that. Let's create this system, and it might be that it brings much more value to the entire community, because in this with this kind of mechanism, basically you are not dumping, you are burning, and it was just a theory. At some point I was discussing with a friend of mine that is actually a lecturer at the economics, and he said, well, it doesn't make sense to create it doesn't make sense. He said you cannot burn something and make it more valuable. And I said, I think you can if it's trustless, and if the entire community thinks that it can be done, it will be achieved. You cannot do this as a national bank, probably, because people don't trust you. They will never come and pay you to burn their dollars,
Right.
Because basically this is what we are saying here. Pay us to burn your Zen, but the payment that you will give us, it's not for us, but it's for the entire community that will get some of them back, 100% of them back, but for individuals, part of it, and it works. Or at least
Right.
after 10 days, it works. I'm very, very curious to see what will happen in 1 year.
Right. Yeah. So exactly, the yield that you would get is very hard to calculate because it totally depends on what GUI is, participation, and all of that. It's an experiment in that sense. But what we do know is that the distribution of a scarce token is very fair, and that has a lot of value.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. So the one question I have actually is, if I stake today in this cycle, will I be part of that protocol fees that comes in today, or is it the next cycle?
No, it depends when where did you get the DBXen from. So if you buy from the open market and stake today, you will only qualify for the next full cycle.
Okay.
If you burn today and you will get some DBXen minted, then you qualify for this current day.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, we can go into the details of, but when it comes to staking, but to simplify it, basically you, after these 24 cycles, it ends and you directly get your part of the DXen, and then it automatically stakes. So you don't have to do anything, it automatically stakes it for you, and thus you're part of this pool of native tokens that gets distributed. So you're coming in with your Zen, and you're coming in with the protocol fee. The Zen gets burned, so it gets removed right away. The native token gets into the contract, but this contract, I mean, it creates sort of a honeypot. The protocol has been audited, by the way, but there's always still protocol risk in everything we're doing, even though it's been audited. But it's great that you've done an audit. But the protocol fees that gets accrued there, they get flushed every day. So even though we're seeing now pretty high amounts getting into these contracts, but they are being distributed to the stakers daily. And you can unstake and stake very easily as well. There's no lockup periods. There's no vesting or anything like that.
Yeah, just one remark here. So, or one example, if in the first day you only burn one batch and you get the 10,000 DXen, you also get the protocol fee entirely in that same day. Why we chose to not do the same thing for the ones that buy from the market and stake is to prevent malicious behavior, because if I can go to the market and buy DXen 10 minutes before the cycle ends and I stake it and I get rewards, and the next day I just claim it and or unstake it and sell it back and do this over and over again, this would destabilize the market. So this is why we said, okay, for the ones that buy, they need to have a full cycle. This is the only locking period. So if I stake at this hour, I still have 4 hours from this cycle to go. I will not qualify for the current cycle. I will qualify for the next one, and then I can unstake.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And just to simplify the process for people, I sort of made this. Let me know if this makes sense to you guys. This is what you participate with. You have Zen. Maybe make it a little bit bigger. You have Zen, and you pay the native gas token. You then burn your Zen, and the native gas token gets into a sort of a pool. And once the auction finishes, then you get DXen, which you then can stake. And if you stake it, then you get part of this protocol fee pool, basically. We lost Răzvan, but I think he's coming back. Hello, Raz.
Sorry, it was just a glitch on my connection.
The connection in Transylvania, how is it?
Actually, it's one of the best in the world. So
it is.
Yeah, we are very, very good here in terms of
awesome. Yeah, I was just saying, like, in order to simplify it, you have Zen, you burn it, you pay the native gas token, it gets to a pool, and through the auction you get the XEN, and then you stake it, and then the protocol fee gets reflected to you if you're a staker. Very simplified, but just for those who are confused with the above.
Very important to note that 100% of the protocol fee. So I've read in the morning a tweet where someone claimed that we get 20%. So the code is audited. The code is open source. If you have friends, developers, they can check it. Or you can trust me that it's 100% for the users.
Right. Yeah. So I think it's a very simple concept. You have participants participating in a daily distribution that gets less and less per day, and you get some DXen, and then you stake it, and then you get this reflected yield to you. So it's very simple, very beautiful concept, which I like very much. Let's talk a little bit about deployment, because that's very interesting. You are on all the 10 different chains already in a very short amount of time that Zen is on. So there's so many things I want to ask about this. Like, what was that experience? Why did you choose to go to all the other chains first and then take ETH last? That's very interesting, because we've done the reverse. What has been your experience in terms of what did you learn from the deployment of, if you have the same immutable contract deployed on all these different chains, what was your experiences with that and so on? But yeah.
Okay, so why on all the chains? Basically, we embraced EVM compatible blockchains. So we like Ethereum, and we like Solidity, and we like EVM compatible blockchains. This was the first thing that we took into consideration when deciding. Now, from why we prefer to go from down to up, it was from a philosophical principle. So I felt at some point, being also a miner on different chains, that somehow those users were kind of left behind, because everyone is rushing where the hype is. And we said, okay, we need to do this also for the underdogs, for the ones that actually invested their time, their assets into the lower chains. Also, on the lower chains, the value, the risk was less than on Ethereum. So we said, okay, we will not do a test net, and this is because I refuse to allow users to burn real value and get testnet tokens, because I could not, with the team, we could not actually implement in such a way that people will not burn their real XEN, because if you and this is a good point, the function that actually burns the XEN in DBXen is the same function that is written in the XEN smart contract, which people used to call the proof of burn. And this is why the burners in DBXen will also get airdrops of XN,
Right.
Okay. And because we chose to use the same function, we could not do a testnet without or preventing that people will actually burn their XEN, and this would have not been fair. It just didn't felt right, because we were not 100% sure that it will work. People will throw their money in the garbage. So what we did, we said, okay, let's go on Polygon, because with Polygon I think most of our projects were deployed on Polygon. We looked at the amounts. So one batch plus the protocol fee and the transaction fee would have cost around 50 cents, and they would get some DXN, MDXN. So, okay, I think that I can live with that risk and with this responsibility of having people burning 5 cents. And we tried our best to communicate this, and we told people, okay, on these chains, because the value that you are putting to risk is not that high, try out your strategy, give us your feedback, let us know if we need to improve something until we go to Ethereum. And basically this was the tactics.
And so when you deployed so you started with Polygon. Who was next?
Avalanche, and then it was Binance, and then I said, okay, let's do a bit of show and go in the same day on 6 chains, and we sat there for a couple of hours and did the 6 chains, and then we went on Ethereum.
And so it was kind of smart in the sense that you sort of tried it out, because Ethereum is the biggest market, and it has the most users, the most liquidity, the most activity. But we do have a multi-chain philosophy within Zen, and it's kind of interesting because it sort of led up to this momentum building of deploying on the Big Daddy chain, so to speak, and it got users accustomed to what is DBXen and how it works. And do you think that contributed to? Would you do differently? Like, would you recommend other builders to follow our approach, which has been Ethereum first and then the other chains, or would you follow would you redo it the same way that you did?
Well, I think it really depends on what you are, what your goals as developers are. I would do the same thing all over again, in my opinion. Like I said, we had in mind the idea of making sure that people can get accustomed, that they will not burn their assets. We had to make sure that everything is in order. And like you said, even though we went to Certic, we always audit every smart contract that we put online with Certic, but still you cannot be 100% that it's correct. And then you need to find a way in which the risk for people to lose their money is the minimum one. And this is my recommendation would be to go from bottom up, but it's
right. Exactly, because we're dealing with immutable code here. So once the code is immutable, you cannot change it. So if there was something wrong after with the protocol after you deployed on Polygon, you still could have changed it for Ethereum, basically. But there was nothing, according to your guys, there was nothing that you wanted to change. Everything worked as intended.
Yes, you are right. So basically, we got the audit from Certic for Polygon. This was the first deployment, and since then we basically did not change anything on any other chains because we wanted to keep the audit intact. And there were, for example, I see Joseph here. There were some very, very nice ideas, like partially claiming the rewards or partially claiming the DBXen, which should have been there as a functionality. In my opinion, it would have brought even more value, but we preferred not to do it because this would have meant that we break the audit, and also it would have not been fair for the other chains. So if we would have done this only for Ethereum, then why on Polygon is not possible, you know? So we had all this, but there were no bugs, and this is for now. I think.
Right. For now, there's no bugs yet. The synergy between two protocols, two teams, whatever you want to say, it's quite amplificacious. Is that a word? I think I just invented a word. It's the sense that DBXen gives Zen, of course, utility, and DBXen makes Zen more valuable for every holder, of course, since it burn. How was it to deploy with Zen? Because since we've established this presence on all these different chains, we have a community that's aware of how to navigate to those chains, how to connect to the RPC, how to get the native gas token, how to be in that environment, how to understand that chain's different various aspects of architecture. And that, of course, brings the different users. How was it to deploy on all these different chains, knowing that you had users on 10 chains already? And sort of like you could facilitate that horizontal scaling that Zen has paved the way for.
Yeah, so as you said, if I recall correctly, at some point in time, Jack mentioned that Zen will also be a very good ecosystem where people can learn more and more about crypto and blockchains and wallets and so on and so forth. And actually, this happened, and we kind of we were beneficiaries of this. So basically, DBXen is dependent on Zen. So the Zen is the fuel for DBXen, you know. So we just had to see where the people are, where Zen is already deployed. It's easy to see this on the Xen.network, and we just created the roadmap and started researching different ways of interacting with certain blockchains. You know, Dogecoin, for example. Doge chain is quite a funny example. But at the end of the day, for us, it was also very, very, very fun to learn all these things, and it was not that hard. So. And we proved this when we went on chain on 6 chains in the same day. So it was also a challenge for us.
Right. Yeah. You must have learned a lot by it, and you also it's created this nice symbiosis because now users on all these different Xenians on all the different chains we've deployed on. Xenians have Zen on all these different chains, and now they have this opportunity to, if they choose to, if they like DBXen and what it stands for and how it works, they can get this token, which is very scarce, and it's incredibly frustrating because, as we talked about before, there's difficulty in order to get it. You can't, like, I can't. I was waiting. I was frustrated because I tried to participate, and I was waiting for the right time, but it never really came. And then you still don't want to ape in, because that's never a good idea. And then we were following it on the markets and see that the price was also constantly increasing. So but the liquidity was slowly building up. I mean, the liquidity, of course, went from zero. But it's building up more and more as the token gets distributed. It's being offered on the decentralized markets in order to trade with as well. So you sort of have this opportunity, like this: should I buy it from the market, or should I participate in the auction? Because if I participate in the auction, then I have to pay the protocol fee. And is that baked into the price or not? And in the beginning, we saw that, well, the price is really undervalued, but it's still very hard to get it. And then we've seen that the price just very, very much took off.
Yeah, we've discussed a bit before entering live. So I'm actually a bit FOMOing. It's like, okay, I created this platform together with my team, but we just cannot seem to find the right way to jump into the train. So we had we had to test. But one of my preferred examples or happenings in these last few days, I think in the second day on Telegram, some people were complaining that the stake and unstake doesn't work correctly. So, okay, I said, cool that there's already a pool on Uniswap. I went on Uniswap. I tried to buy 10. I saw that it's around $3 per DXen. I said, let me try to get 100. I've bought, the Uniswap did not allow me to buy 100, so I only bought 50 DXen. And I tested, and I saw that everything works fine, but it was a misunderstanding on the user side, and we explained, all good. And the next day I wake up and I see the price going around 30. I said, oh, this was the best test that I've ever did, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the price had to start from somewhere, right? The price was zero, and then as day by day went, it's just been like rocket ship. So and the liquidity is building up for the DXen USD pair on Uniswap. It's 65K right now, but let's do a tutorial. Can you show us how to participate?
Absolutely. But one thing before going into the yesterday, I noticed something that is very, very important to be mentioned from a philosophical perspective. So I don't remember the exact time, but someone actually cashed out around $12,000 on DXen. And I received a notification on Telegram. Someone said, guys, someone just dumped. Will this be going to zero? And the community was incredible. So immediately everyone started buying $10, $5, $6, and so on. And immediately the price went at the same level at which it was before the dump. And it was like, my feeling was that, okay, so actually this is the community is making, no one is controlling this. This would happen probably in a centralized exchange where, you know, the owner will, okay, you sold, I will pump it up because I need to keep the image. But it was incredible to see how a small community actually reacted to a normal behavior, because probably that guy needed money. I don't know. You know, it's like, it's incredible. Okay, enough taka. Let's go to demo.
Taka. Is that how you say in Romanian?
Yes.
Taka.
Present, share screen. Good. Can you see my screen?
Here it comes. Let's see. Whoa.
A lot of Zen2s and Răzvans here. Good. So let's start with the beginning. This is DBXen.org. Can anyone see it?
Yes. Yeah, I think
Great.
it's good.
So basically, how all this starts. Let me just disconnect first. Okay. This is what everyone will see when they will land on the app.
Where's the app? DBXen.org, right?
Yes,
DBXen.org.
DBXen.org. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Once you click on connect, your wallet will be automatically connected. Now, this is a test wallet on my side. Let me just check. The first thing I do when I want to participate to DBXen, I look at what are my assets in MetaMask or whatever wallet. So I see here I have around 0.014 ethers, and I have around 3 million. Yeah, 3 million Zen.
Let's burn it all.
We can burn it all. Or what we can do, let's say 3 million, I will go actually on Uniswap first and try to buy some more Zen. I will try to buy 2 million more because I want to do 2 batches. Remember that basically when I want to burn, I need to have multiple of 2.5. So I have 3 million in my wallet. I will buy another 2, confirm swap. There's a very nasty bug in MetaMask. If you set up a limit VEI, it will be used every time you want to do a new swap, or any other transaction. So you need to go and put change the limit or put the market price in terms of VEI. Okay, so I've bought 5 million. Let me just check. Asset.
Right. The number of batches is 2.5 million. So what he's doing now is just topping up. So he has 5 million.
Yes. Actually, in UI, you can see choose the number of Zen batches you want to burn. 1 batch equals 2.5 million Zen. So basically, now I know that I have 2 batches, and I set the fact that I want to burn 2 batches. I can go up to 10,000. The most that I can burn at once is 10,000, and this would equal to 25 billion Zen, and only the protocol fee would be around 27 ethers.
Yeah, it's kind of small there maybe for some people, but it auto calculates what the protocol fee is, and this is an estimation.
Yes,
right? This is based on the current way.
Yes, and it's a pessimistic estimation actually. So basically, this approximation was made taking into consideration that when we send this value to the wallet and the user wants to click on doing the transaction, the transaction should pass, and if the transaction costed less than what we've estimated, basically the change will be given back to the user.
What happens in that moment if GUI like spikes or whatever? There's like a Yuga Labs airdrop in that moment.
Then the transaction will fail with the saying that basically the transaction is underpriced. So the maximum amount that the user can spend is the one that he sees here. And the one that is shown here is, like I said, a pessimistic estimate. Most of the times it can be even 10 times cheaper to do the actual transaction than what we are seeing here. We try to do this approximation, like I said, in a very, very pessimistic manner. Okay, so let's do the burn. So before doing the burn, I need to approve the fact that the protocol can use my my XEN.
Just like with NFTs, guys, you need to give permission to the protocol to take your Zen from your custody and burn it. This is not something that the protocol will do automatically unless you give it permission.
Exactly. By the way, did you check the GVE? Let me just check the GVE. I was curious.
It's 99. Yeah. So it's relatively low. So you're getting a good deal here on your test account.
Okay. So basically I approved, and now I can burn. And I will burn. Let me put an address. I cannot burn because I don't have enough ether. It shows me that I don't have enough ether anymore. So what I can do, I can come back and say, okay, I don't burn only one because probably I need to have. Okay, so burn. I do not need to approve because I already approved once and memorized that I have, and I still don't have enough ether. So what I can do is go and buy some ether.
All good.
Okay. Actually, I will transfer from another wallet. Bear with me a bit.
While you do that, I can let me know when you're prepared. I'll just go ahead and talk a little bit about what we're gonna show next. Let me just refresh this. Just gonna go through the stats. So on Zen.pub, guys, go to the DBXen dashboard, and here you can see how much DBXen has been. What is the summary of the participation on all the different 10 chains that Zen is deployed on, that DBXen has been deployed on as well. So here you can see the current cycle. One cycle is 24 hours. Ethereum was the last one, so it's 9 days since launch. I think that means we are on the 10th cycle. We have the DBXen reward, so it's 5 million per chain. 5 million, 10,000 per chain. So here we can see after 9 days, we are distributing 100,000 DXen. It started with 10,000, right? So here we have how much is being distributed this cycle, and it's constantly decreasing every day. And here we can see the how much the XEN has been claimed, rewards and stakes. And this is interesting, Zen burn. So on just 9 days, we burned 460 billion Zen, which is quite amazing. So that's 46 unicorns in just 9 days. That's quite insane. And just in this cycle, it's 103. How many hours are left in this cycle? When is the cutoff time?
3 hours and 20 minutes.
3 hours, 20 minutes left. So it must be a record cycle, this one. And here's the amount of fees in total that's been accrued by the protocol, right? So this must be in the native currency, if I'm not mistaken. So this should be ETH then. So 440 ETH has been accrued in fees, which is quite amazing. And this is for this cycle, and here you can see it's a fairly amount of high stakes if we relate this to the amount of the XEN that's been rewarded. So I guess the discrepancy is people who have not staked for whatever reason, or have it on the market for in order to sell it or whatever. Yeah, shall we switch back to? We're going to get back to some stats because it's quite staggering. But let's get.
Yeah,
Here
I'm
we go. Do
prepared.
you have
So
an ETH in your wallet now?
yes,
Start.
yes. Okay, so it's good that we had this small hiccup. So because you saw, I need to have ETH and Zen.
Right.
And now I'm back in DBXen. Usually, what I do before burning, I just hard refresh because probably the gas modified a bit in the meantime. Okay, so I'm now going and try to burn the two batches. Very simple. I've set the number. I look at the total that I need to pay. So the estimate is 0.016 and 5 million Zen. And then I go to MetaMask
So
and
that's total transaction cost. So that includes the protocol
exactly,
fee plus the
exactly,
gas fee.
exactly. And I just confirm, and now I wait for the Xen to be burned.
I see Simona. She's part of your team, and also Scylla here, right? You have
Yes,
the strong supporters with us today.
good. The burn was completed. So now I do not see anything. So nothing changed. It says that my balance of Zen is 0. I do not see any change in terms of rewards and so on. But I see here that okay, the next fees I will get in approximately 3 hours and 17 minutes. And basically at that moment I will get some DXN rewards. I will not claim the DXN rewards because I will keep them staked, because once you get them and you don't claim it, it says that it's automatic staked. And if I buy something, if I go now on Uniswap, for example, and try to get a DXN, let me just see if I can afford one. Probably afford. Let's see how much. Yes, I can afford to buy one. Let me just buy it and show you also how to stake.
Yeah, you can also add the exam to your MetaMask there.
Yes. I think that in my case it's already added, but let me just check. Yes.
Is there a way?
Let me just check. It's here. Okay, so I come here. I again hard refresh. I see that I have an available 1DXN in my wallet, and I already have 5 that are staked. Actually, nice yield for these 5 DXN that were staked in the first day. I got this amount of ETH. I think it's not bad. Okay, so I say I want to stake the maximum amount that I have available in my wallet. I just click on stake and confirm the transaction. The thing that I want to mention is that for this one DXN that I stake right now, I will not get any reward in this current cycle. It will only get qualified for the cycle that starts in 3 hours, and I will get the reward for this one after the next cycle. But for the thing that I've burned, for the 2 batches that I've burned, I will already qualify for both native coin fee and the XN reward.
Right. That makes sense to me now when you explain it. I didn't understand. I was like, because I bought from the market to try it out, and then I staked it, and then the next day I didn't get any reward. But then I now when you explain it, I realize I have to wait a day before that cycle ends. But as you say, if you participate in the auction right away, is there somehow a way where you can put in sort of a confirmation that that you burned? That you are participating in this current cycle?
Yeah, we could do that. We had actually a lot of discussions, but Joseph already did this, and it's very, very nice. And we want to encourage people to go on XenPub. And why is that? If we look at the UX at this moment, UI, there are already a lot of numbers, and we did not want to bother people with anything else but the main functionality, the minimum things that need to appear here, because
Right.
all of the great stats and data is on Joseph's XenPub. And if you want to see your participation, basically you can come here and let me just refresh. I think it collects data every 1 minute. So I know I've burned 5 million now. So either you can find your address here and you can see, okay, for 5 million, you will get an estimated reward of 0.47 DXN at this moment, but probably in 3 hours, you will be a bit diluted. And I think it also works to search for your address. Let me just check. So, okay, I copied my address and I will input it to the search field. And I think you don't need only the last 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you only need to put the last 6 letters in your symbols in your address, and you can see that okay, you have burned, or your address has burned 5 million XEN, which means 2 batches.
Which is what you just did, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you already mentioned, so all the stats are here. You can. It's good to have also. You see the other burners. So, for example, this address right here actually had a transaction of $57,000. So he burned 15 billion something, and so on. And you can position yourself, based on okay, what your strategy is, how much DXen you want to obtain, or how much Zen you want to burn. You can look at the stats here. Here you can see the daily burners.
Right. Yeah, this I found like with Zen.pub, which Joseph has again been just phenomenal in creating so much value to this community. It's an amazing tool in order to check the status of the daily auction. So you just go to the chain he has implemented. You can see there on the left-hand side. If you scroll down there on the left-hand side, yeah, exactly. There you have all the different chains DBXen is on, and now we're on the Ethereum one. And then at the bottom of that page, as he showed you guys, you have the current cycle of burners. So that's where you can check whatever your cycle in. And if we see right now, for instance, if you scroll down, thank you, Joseph. Thank you so much. He's here. It's early in Toronto. But he's up. He didn't want to miss this one. So I think the resolution is a bit. Maybe this one is better. So here we can see.
I can stop the sharing if you want. So you can.
I just switched to my screen. There we go. So. Let me just refresh it. But if we, for instance, want to participate right now, we would have to consider like the time that's left. And as you said, it's like 3 hours left or something like that. Here's someone who paid 57,000 that's just a protocol fee, right?
I think that partially funding, that's just the protocol fee, exactly.
And the GUI, which is very interesting as well, the average GUI, it's around 20 today. It's a weekend, so it's a bit lower. So as we talked about before, when the GUI is lower, you can pay way less in protocol fees. So that's amazing. But more will think the same, right? So more will participate for that reason, so it's like that balance of that sweet spot you have to find. Here's someone burned 15 billion Zen today, which is quite amazing. Just one person burned 15 billion today, and that's the value of that burn according to current price of Zen. This is how many batches they burned. So you are probably at the lowest here with your 2 batches.
Yeah. Well, you see, there are 30 pages of
Yeah,
burner,
exactly.
so
Just today.
Immediately went on the 30, and I see that someone did 2.5. It's okay.
Right. It's okay. And that's the percentage of the pool of the pool today in this cycle.
Yes.
And since it's not 10,000, right? It's what is it today? It's we can see it here as well. Here's the current 9,800. Let's go through these numbers as well after. So that's how much all of these participants today are competing for, and this guy would get 1,400. But there's an auction style, and anything can happen up until the last block, right? So you can come in the last second and change it for everything. So this is just insane amount of psychology going in here.
Yeah. But if you wait until that point, it might be that the way is sky high and you cannot enter anymore because it makes no sense, So it's
right. Yeah, exactly. So this is how a fair distribution of a token really can look like. It's an exemplary example of that. Here we have the total burn. So it's burned above. Oh, I looked yesterday. It was 3.7 or something. 4.3% of the entire Zen supply. And this is only on Ethereum, which is quite remarkable in just 9 days.
And if you look, that means almost 900,000 worth of XEN in USD.
Right.
At the current price. So basically, when we started, I had a discussion, I remember, with Joseph about this when he added the USD value. And we looked after the first day, and it was quite impressive, around 50,000 euros or dollars or something. And Joseph was saying, in time, we will look at these numbers, and it might be that millions and millions. And now we see that we are almost at 1 million. It's incredible in 9 days.
It's like when we launched Zen, we had no idea like how well it was going to be picked up. But as we talked about initially, I don't know if it was before the stream, I think it like the way we are building stuff is based on a lot of fundamentals. Everything we are doing, we sort of can deduce due to some reason as to why we did it. And DBXen is built on those exact same principles. So it kind of makes sense in a way that as more people understand these protocols, they will find the logic behind it. There's no hype. There's no marketing done with this. It's just pure fundamentals. 440 ETH, which has a value of $800,000 have been reflected back to the stakers already. It's quite amazing. What do you feel when you see these numbers? You just deploy the protocol and it's just like exploding.
It's incredible. And if I look, there is also the number of unique minters. So there's not a lot of, it's 685. So just imagine that these 685 people managed to create a value or of $1.7 million. It's incredible. Let's think what would happen if in 1 year there would be 1 million unique minters per day, because you don't need to burn like tens of thousands every day. You can burn like I did, $5 for $20. I don't know what was the total amount, but I think that the minimum entrance is around $4 or $5 at Disc Bay.
Right.
But $5 for 1 million, it might be 5 million. So it's 10 times more than what we can do in a number of 685.
I mean, yeah, it's an experiment. In a year, there might be hundreds of thousands of daily participants, or you might be the only one. So it totally depends. And I know there's 685 unique minters as of these 9 days. But I do also know that there are a lot of people who are waiting for a right moment in order to participate. So I know there's a lot of people on the sidelines who would like to participate, but they are holding off a little bit until now. So it's totally up to people how they are participating. And here we can also see the number of batches that have been burned, the protocol fee flow in total, etc., etc. And what's
look at the number of Ethereum that needs to be distributed this cycle. So this is also very interesting. I think, did we? I'm not sure. I don't think that we've ever passed 100 per day. Now we are at 98.45 and still 3 hours to go. So probably there will be more than 100 ETHs that will be distributed at the end of this day.
299 in this current cycle. That's a lot more than. But we can see here also the price history has increased. The daily unique participants is showing a good growth, and this is probably due to awareness, but also the fact that the GUI is low. My computer is about to die. Sorry, guys. Just give me a second. There we go. Here we can see the burn is increasing, the daily the claiming of the XEN rewards, and the cycle fees per stake. Some cycle stakes and daily the XEN reward per cycle. Of course, it's slowly decreasing. This is I love these charts Josef have made, where you can also tune in to whatever interval you want. And here you have the top 10,000 burners of all time. So if you participate in many different cycles, it gets accrued into this sort of top list. And again, here's the cycle that's ongoing right now. So it's super exciting. Both to participate, but also to follow. And you also have the stats for all the different chains. And if we see on the other chains, let's just go in a little bit. Here we have Avmos. So here it's burned 33% of the total supply, which is quite amazing. We have on Binance 11%. How does it look on Polygon? 19%. So it's been quite amazing, and this is also, of course, reflected in the price charts. Which chains have you participated in yourself?
Well, Polygon, it was the first baby. So Polygon, Ethereum, Avalanche, and Binance. For me, I didn't have time when we did the 6 chains in a row. I didn't have time to actually buy the native coin, transfer it, and so on. We were focused on the technical part. So right. I didn't participate on that, but I am following each of those, and it's hard. It's hard to keep track with. You know what? Very, very interesting. On every chain, there are sub-communities of the DBXen sub-community, and the gameplay on every chain is a bit different. So it's not the same. I would have expected that people are having the same strategy on every chain. It's not.
Yeah, because Zen is different on all the other chains, right? So it really let's check on, for instance, Avalanche, because I could see there that the yeah, so here we can see on Avalanche, for instance, it's burned almost 50% of the whole Zen supply.
And if you look at the prices of XEN and DBXen and so on every chain, it's incredible. So it's very nice to see everything green, huh? For a change.
Yeah, for a change. Yeah, exactly. So exactly. Let's check XEN. Yeah, of course, it's also reflected in the. When did you launch on Avalanche?
I don't remember. If you look at on ZenPub, it says the exact date, or we'll look at the number of
36 days. 36 days ago. Yeah. So what is that? Yeah. So some. We can see lately once the participation has picked up that the growth has been quite remarkable. So it's up 600% just on Avalanche. So this is ASAP. But it really works. The yin and yang really works, and the participation is high, and it's quite amazing to see.
Not financial advice, but my opinion that this will go a bit low again once the people will restart minting, because then again, and this is how the entire market will actually be in equilibrium. So at some point, probably it will be very hard for new burners on DBXen to burn their XEN, because the XEN is very, very valuable. But at some point, again, it will get not that valuable because minters keep coming in, which we really encourage to come in because we need as many people as possible in the community. And then the DBXen will start kicking again. So.
Right, exactly. And again, guys, this is experimental stuff. It's the volatility is crazy. There's certainties and there's uncertainties. We have no idea where the price is going to go. We have no idea what the participation is going to be. We have no idea what the GUI is going to be. These are all very fluid dynamics that you have to consider. So please consider this. Don't risk any money that you can't afford to lose. Really understand what you're doing here, and be careful in your participation, and expect everything. Yeah, we have so much to cover, but we're going for a long time. We already talked for 2 hours. That's insane. It felt like half an hour. But let's show some links. Where should people go? So this is the Gitbook, dbzen.gitbook.io, where you have all of these different things that we talked about today. And I urge everyone to go and read it. Here you also have the links to the audit, the Twitter, and the Telegram. Is there anything you want to comment on this?
Not really. So join us on Twitter. Usually, that's where we actually post everything that is official from us. So we don't have a separate website. We keep.
Wow, you already have 20,000 followers. That's amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we started to learn how to do marketing. I don't know. Yeah, and on Telegram, basically, there's around 1,500 last time I checked. People here you can find answers to your technical questions, or if you have difficulties understanding something. But please bear in mind that before asking something, read the light paper. Most of the answers are there, and if you don't understand something, then the community is here to help you.
Right. And we can also put in some quick links, because we get a lot of questions in the chats of Zen as well. Maybe we're gonna put in some commands like combot, so you can just type in DBXen and then you get to the DBXen Telegram or something like that. Yeah. Răzvan, just some closing thoughts. This has been, of course, amazing. Oh, I also want to show this. Ballot Catalin. I think he's a part of your team. He wrote this interesting article. I think it's very good to read as well. It's about DBXen and the sort of the story. We talked a little bit about it today, where you also explained some other stuff that you thought about before that you then integrated to DBXen, right?
Okay, I need to ask you to send me the link. We are so decentralized. I didn't know about this, and it's okay. I don't need to know, but it's kind of nice to see that he wrote something. I will read it. Yes, he's part of our extended team. So in total, we are, just to understand, we are around 50 people, so 50, and we are spread on different projects, and the ones that are actually mostly involved on DBXen are here. So it's Chilla and Simona and Sergio. And oh, look, there's Kata. That was Kata behind the. That's the guy.
Coding, and you had balloons on the launch and stuff.
Yeah, great to see him coding, not writing articles. Just kidding.
And even a dog was there for the launch. Yeah, it seems like you have an amazing team over there at DBXen, and we can also see that the effect is the yin yang effect of DBXen has had a truly remarkable impact of Zen, which is amazing. But I wanna finish off. I don't know if you have something you want to finish off with to the fellow Senians. From our side, we are very happy that you guys are here, and we're very grateful for everything that you built and contributed to in the Xenian journey. We're very proud to have you guys here with us, and we look very much forward to building a lot of more stuff together with you guys, and making more utility for the Zen token and for the whole ecosystem. So thank you, Răzvan, to you and to your whole team. It's been an amazing journey to follow the DBXen journey, and we're very happy to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for the invite, and I hope that we will do this many times in the future on DBXen and on other utilities that will pop up, either from us or from someone else from the community. For the community, we are here, and I think it's very important for everyone to understand that we only met each other, I think, 1 week ago, if I recall correctly. So it's all about the first principles, and it's all about what crypto should be. And it brought us together. It was a pleasure to chat with you. It's always a pleasure to chat with whoever from the community. And let's see, like you said, it's a very nice experiment. And I need to confess that I'm egoist, and as a researcher, I am so curious where this will lead us. It's incredible.
I think that's the thing, that like whatever you're thinking of in terms of performance, what's even a stronger energy in all of this with everyone is the curiosity. Like, I don't think any of us really understand the power that's we unleashed with this project, and to see how, I'm super curious to see how something like DBXen, which has very strong foundations, can survive. and how it can thrive, because there's nothing else like it. There's nothing else. There is no second best.
Well, the code is open source. Whoever wants to fork it, I was at some point I saw actually a comment. What happens if someone forks the code and does the exact same thing? I don't know.
Right.
Let's try it out if you think. I don't know. Maybe no one will burn, or maybe everyone from DBXen will jump because the project will restart. I don't know. And this is the good part. You don't need to ask me or Zensu or Jack. It's community built.
Right. You sort of need all the ingredients, right? You need you need the foundations, you need the tokenomics, but you also need the community. But everything is open source. We believe in those values. We believe in having a permissionless, anarchistic duocracy, and we share a lot of the same values there, I think. And then if we have those things, we can create awesome stuff. So Răzvan, thank you so much for joining me on the stream and telling with your own words what DBXen is and how it works. I look very much forward to having more streams and more spaces with you.
Thanks. Whenever you are ready to invite me for another 2 or 3 hours, we like to speak a lot, apparently. Good, guys. Thank you very much again for the invitation, and let's see what the next week will bring us. I look forward to it. It's
right. Follow the participation on Zen.pub, guys, and have an amazing day. Over and out.
Bye.
10-2, Zensu. And Răzvan from Transylvania.
Another vampire.
Another vampire in the community.
Bye.
Goodbye. Have an amazing guys. Ending it. So.